Hi. Food insecurity among college students is a large problem, but it is not often talked about. In fact, it's actually become more normalized in the media. It's treated as cute or funny in sitcoms. Think about how often you see a sitcom portray a college student eating ramen, living paycheck to paycheck, with a laugh track behind it. And I think that really stems from the fact that food insecurity is not properly understood. They just say, oh, eating ramen in college is the way that it is, when in reality that is a form of food insecurity. The definition of food insecurity is not having enough food for every person in the household to live an active, healthy life. And that's according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So when we use that lens to look at college students, if all they're eating is ramen or they don't have enough to eat more than one meal a day, that is food insecurity. Students need sufficient meals to be able to focus on their education. They cannot be expected to go to class, have a job, and do all the things that they need to do without being properly nourished and fed. A study showed that out of students attending a 4-year university, roughly 29% of them experience food insecurity, and while at a 2-year university, roughly 38%. So the question is, what is causing students to become food insecure? There's a lot of different factors. One of it's going to be rising tuition. College is expensive, so not only are students having to pay for necessities like food, they're also having to pay to learn. There was a 9.24% increase from the Education Data Initiative that shows how much tuition has increased over the years, and that was just from 2010 to 2022. So not only are students having to deal with cooking and classes, but they're also having to deal with a drastic increase in the price of their schooling. Another factor is inflation. I know that over the years with COVID, we have all seen inflation, and we've seen it in many different aspects of our life. But one of the biggest things that we have seen is the increase in price of groceries. There has been a 9.9% increase in groceries in 2022 alone, and that is according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So the price of groceries has drastically increased. So not only are students struggling to pay for their tuition, they are also now struggling to afford basic groceries. And that doesn't even take into account the fact that healthier food is typically more expensive. That is just all average grocery prices have increased by 9.9%. How can we expect students to maintain a proper education while also having multiple jobs to afford their basic needs? So what do? What's the solution? On-campus food pantries. On-campus food pantries currently exist. There's about 316 on-campus food pantries in the United States that are run by Feeding America. That is one of the main organizations. There is one in every single University of Maryland system, including Salisbury. I am the Secretary for Food for the Flock here on campus, which is our on-campus food pantry. And that organization alone has seen a huge increase in pickups from our students. So I've been on the board for about a year. When I first became on the board, we had about 200 students pick up per semester. Now we're averaging about 500 students picking up food per semester. So this is a huge solution, having students be able to access food on campus. A lot of times students, if there's not a food campus on pantry, will have to be referred to other benefits like SNAP, which is food stamps, or food banks, but a lot of times those require a proof of need, which can be difficult for college students to obtain. So that's why having pantries on campus, having that solution accessible to students, is really the first thing that needs to happen. College students are able to create their own food pantry. All that they would have to do is contact Feeding America, or if they're in the state of Maryland, contact the Maryland Food Bank. And those two programs can help you start an on-campus food pantry. There is no reason that any college student should have to be worrying about where their meal is going to come from, and there are resources to help. Personally, here at Salisbury, I have seen Food for the Flock made a drastic difference in people's lives. So if we can make food pantries on college campuses the norm, I think that that's the first step to decreasing food insecurity on college level. Thank you.